Welcome back to Storytime with Miss Poka. Before we get started, grab your favorite blanket, your favorite snack, and your very own copy of Joan of Art. Hello friends, today we'll be reading Joan of Art, written by Lesa Engelthaler and illustrated by Brooke O'Neill. More than anything in the world, Joan wanted to become an artist. So badly, in fact, that she would sometimes get sad, even embarrassed, about not being named after one. She never even told her best friends and classmates, Mags and Edgar. Then, one day in school, Joan saw a surprising assignment on the chalkboard. Their teacher, Miss Freeland, said, "For your homework tonight, ask your family why they chose your name." That same day, Mags and Edgar rode their bikes over to Joan's house after school. Like most days, they found Joan drawing. There was a new hopscotch board on the sidewalk. When Edgar grabbed a piece of chalk and wrote their names next to the board, Joan's stomach felt tight. She knew she had to tell her friends her secret that very afternoon. "I don't have to ask my family about my name. I already know. My mom named me after a warrior from France, a girl who saved her country and became a saint. Her name was Joan of Arc." "Cool," Edgar said. Mags asked, "But why haven't you ever told us?" Joan didn't answer, but she felt proud for having revealed who she was named after. The next day, when it was her turn, Joan was excited to tell the whole class too. "How nice to be named after a saint," Miss Freeland said. Going back to her seat, Joan thought, "Of course I am proud of Joan of Arc. Who wouldn't be?" But when you're named after a brave warrior and a saint, wanting to be an artist is stupid. She had tried to be like Joan of Arc. That weekend, Joan had cut out a sword and shield from cardboard, then painted them pink and purple. Alone in her room, in her best French accent, she tried to sound brave. Encouragez! But Joan knew her favorite part had been decorating the cardboard, not holding up a sword and shield. She knew in her heart that she wanted to be an artist, not a warrior. The next day, Miss Freeland asked, "Did you know that when she was only a teenager, Joan's namesake defended her country against the English? And she was a girl, which was unheard of for warriors in the 15th century. Right before she went into battle, Joan of Arc shouted, 'I am not afraid. I was born to do this.'" Joan sat up straight in her chair. She hadn't known that part about her Joan. "For your homework," Miss Freeland said, "I want you to write about what you were born to do, no matter if you are named Jasmine or James or Joan. How can you be brave like Joan of Arc?" Now, Joan knew she had to tell her friends the other part of her secret. After school, she gathered her courage and said, "Here's the deal. I don't want to be a warrior. I've tried, but I'm horrible at it. Joan of Arc was amazing, but what if I was not born to be like her? What I really want to be is an artist." "But what if I'm not good at that either?" Joan asked. She was trying not to cry. Mags and Edgar looked at each other. Joan was the best artist they knew, but to help her see that, the friends would need a plan. The next weekend, Mags and Edgar rode their bikes over to Joan's house. They had practiced just what to say to Joan. Mags and Edgar tried not to giggle as they shouted in their best olden times French accent, "You are not afraid. You were born to do this. On this day, on this sidewalk, on this art by you, we pronounce thee Joan of Art." Joan smiled. She knew her friends were right. Joan was the perfect name for her. Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was a French military leader. Go forward, bravely, fear nothing, trust in God, and all will be well. Joan of Arc was born around 1412 on a farm in France. Growing up in a poor family, Joan didn't go to school, but instead took care of the farm's animals. At about 12 years old, an angel told Joan that she was going to lead her country in a battle against the English. She protested, "But I'm merely a girl. I cannot ride a horse or wield a weapon." But Joan kept hearing the message, so at 16 years old, she asked the King of France for an army. Of course, at first, the king did not believe in Joan. Determined to be a soldier, Joan cut her hair short and dressed like a boy because back then, girls couldn't go to war. Finally, the king said yes. Joan and her French army defeated the English. Later, Joan was captured by the English and sentenced to death. Joan of Arc was only 19 years old when she died. And yet, because of her bravery, French made her a saint, and every year there is a feast day in her honor. Joan is loved by so many people that there are statues of her all around the world. Friends, wasn't Joan of Arc and Joan of Arc amazing? I loved how she figured out what her name meant and what she meant to the world. What do you think that your name means, and what do you think that you mean to the world? Put a comment below and I would love to find out. And if you wasn't able to read along, that's okay. I'm going to put a link below so you can add it to your very own Storytime collection. Bye, friends. Hello, friends. Miss Poka has a very special announcement. We will now be raffling away a t-shirt a month to our very own viewers. Go to pokaspeaks.com and upload what was your favorite book on Storytime with Miss Poka.